We're still with Mr. Paul O'Sullivan, if you've just joined us, and if you'd like to interact with him, 086198700. Paul, we have 20 minutes left. I wonder if I can just give you pointed questions about the testimony, which you say is obviously a very big submission. But one of the claims you make, and I suppose it's in your state capture point 3, mark point 3, as you put it, is the forensic or rather lifestyle audit you conducted on Masemola and Mkhwanazi, which specifically with regards to Masemola related to the moment prior to his appointment. We do have a statement because in a YouTube video you had claimed that Bejani had called you and requested you to do a lifestyle audit on the people that were shortlisted for police commissioner. And you found that Masemola had failed and was living beyond his means. Bejani says they've never asked you to conduct lifestyle audits. In fact, they never contracted you to. That this was a mere public submission on your part. Can you confirm if the presidency or a specific department in government contracted you to do lifestyle audits of the people that were shortlisted to be appointed as police commissioners?
Yeah, thanks. Look, I can understand Bejani Chowki now doing a U-turn, but the reality is that, you know, when I give evidence at the Zondo Commission, I was under oath and I was obliged to tell the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And what, unfortunately, Bejani Chowki is doing now is he's denying the events that actually took place at that time. And if he's denying the events that took place, I can explain to you what happened. In late 2021, now, bearing in mind, I'd known Bejani for quite a few years, and we would often meet. And when we met, we would meet either at a coffee shop near to where he lives, or we would meet at my club. And for the most part, I think you could say those meetings were confidential. I don't feel a need to go into all of those meetings now, but the meetings would have gone into various activities. And in late 2021, Bejani asked me for a meeting. I went to the meeting. By the way, he would never come to my office for a meeting. Sometimes I would meet him at a coffee shop near his house, or I would meet him at what's the name of that hotel in Sandhurst? Fancy hotel.
You met him, but so did they contract you to do lifestyle audits?
Yeah, so when you use the word contract, that would assume that there's a written signed agreement. So to be honest with you, there was no contract. It was an oral request. And in late 2021, I was requested in respect of, I think, 2 individuals, not to do a lifestyle audit, but to say whether or not there would be anything that would be a problem if either of those individuals were to be appointed as Commissioner of Police. And this was directly from Bejani Chowki. And he made it clear that he was acting on behalf of the president. So I consider that to be a reality. So we carried out the investigation of those 2 individuals, and I presented him with our findings. And then in February, so that would have been, I think, December 2021 or November 2021. In February, he asked for another meeting, and I met with him. And he gave me 6 names. And I wrote those 6 names down. Bejani never would give you anything in writing. Everything was always oral. He gave me 6 names, and he said it would be appreciated.
Let me help
if
you,
we could-
Paul. I don't want to lose the crux of it all. So, where did, in essence, Mbuyiseni asked you to conduct a lifestyle audit on 6 candidates, which formed part of the 10 that was shortlisted for police commissioner. This you are confident on that he did so?
Yes, in fact, I've got the emails that I sent to him showing him. In fact, on the email that I sent him, I said, Mbuyiseni, as requested, here's the report.
And this is This is a lifestyle audit that you conducted.
No, it's not just lifestyle. He asked me to confirm whether there was anything in respect of the 6 individuals that may be a problem if they were to be appointed as commissioner.
I am interested because lifestyle audit, I'm interested in a confirmation because you have said in public, you've used the term, you've conducted lifestyle audits.
Correct.
This is the case. And I wonder, because lifestyle audits, firstly, there was no written contractual appointment to this effect, but to arrive at a lifestyle audit, you must have had bank statements of these people to look at their money movements. You must have conducted interviews with regards
let me just
to...
stop you there. It's impossible. It's impossible. You are talking about a full lifestyle audit. There's 2 types of lifestyle audits you can do. A full lifestyle audit would require the assistance of the person that's being audited. And that lifestyle audit would require that person to cooperate with the audit and provide lots of information, not just the bank records. The other type of lifestyle audit, which can be done online, is what's known as a light lifestyle audit. And that picks up light, yes.
This is in terms of which law? I mean, these people are being considered, Mr. O'Sullivan, for the highest office in the police service. Where do you take a research framework for light lifestyle audit? Where does the research framework come from such that it can be tested as to its credible provision of information?
So what you do is you carry out research to ascertain whether the salaries of people in the police at certain ranks, it's public knowledge. So you can find out, for example, what is the salary of a lieutenant general? And there's average figures out there. You can find that out. It's obviously, this is a few years ago, so it'll be different today. I can't remember what the figures were then, but we were able to establish what the average salary was of the individuals concerned. Once you've got the average salary of the individual concerned, you can then find out through online research, what we call closed source online research. You can find out whether or not those individuals are living beyond their means or within their means. So that's
you do realize the problem with this, Mr. O'Sullivan, as to its credibility. I mean, if a person did an online investigation on you without speaking to you, without testing it in actual fact, and particularly because you are comparing people's access to financial capital vis-a-vis their lifestyle audits, you must have a bank participating to arrive at the credibility of an information. Otherwise, you might result at a pure violation of their. It might result in a pure violation of their reputation.
No, look, let's be clear about this. It's not for me to explain to you, but it would be clear to me from what you're saying that you don't necessarily understand how a lightweight lifestyle audit
I
is
did
performed.
ask, what framework is this? Because a lifestyle audit in the profession, there are frameworks for it. The department itself of Public Services, SARS, including many government departments, have a framework based in law of a research into a lifestyle audit. Where is the framework for light lifestyle audit, such that you are able to say, as a professional, you can test my information, it can be audited itself as to its validity?
How about this? Why don't I do a light lifestyle audit on you and I provide it to you? And then you'll be able to see exactly
but still
what it comprises of. Because
you would still have to answer.
You're going to ask me a question. It would be appropriate to let me finish answering.
I'm not interrupting you. I want you to help us.
I sat through 20 hours of interrogation
at
the ad hoc committee on Parliament. Now, the reality of the situation is I was asked in late 2021 and early 2022 by the president's advisor, Bajani Chowki, to investigate and determine if there were any issues that may be problematic if those individuals. That was done in confidence. Now, when it's brought up at the ad hoc committee, it's no longer in confidence. And by the way, the report that we produced was not produced for being published. It was produced privately. And if a person had to do a thorough lifestyle audit, it would require, in terms of the framework, for that person to cooperate with the lifestyle audit. But a lightweight, let me finish, please.
Yeah, no, you know I have 10 minutes left.
Let me just explain to you that if you're going to ask me questions, I said this to the ad hoc committee, if you're going to ask me questions and then not let me finish answering the question, it means that you're not creating an opportunity for me to give the correct version of events.
No, so, let me push light where in law, Mr. O'Sullivan, where in law is light lifestyle? Is a light lifestyle audit based in any law? That's the question.
What I wanted to
point me to a law that
what I need to explain to you is that we didn't just do a lifestyle audit.
You didn't do a lifestyle audit. You did a light lifestyle audit. It's not based in any law
of the individuals concerned. We also looked at any adverse media articles concerning the individuals, and we produced reports.
Okay.
Now, we haven't published those reports, and the reason we haven't published those reports is because it was done private and confidential.
Okay.
And what you're trying to now suggest is, and it's quite clear that Bajani Chowki has now done a complete U-turn. If the ad hoc committee ask me to provide the evidence, I will provide the evidence that Bajani Chowki requested me to do this for the president.
Yeah.
And we did it, and we didn't charge a cent for doing it, and spent many hours doing the research on the individuals in question. And we can prove that beyond reasonable doubt.
Okay, Mr.
And as far as the framework is concerned, that is all set out in the report we provide.
All right. I understand, because what this means substantially is that you didn't conduct a lifestyle audit. And in your words, you conducted a light lifestyle audit that has its own framework, which is in the report, not the lifestyle audit based in law, as everybody understands it. This is the clarity that has not come out up to this point, because on many occasions you have said that you did a lifestyle audit, and this lifestyle audit was and all of us assumed, since it's a lifestyle audit, the terminology has weight in law, and there is a framework set out in law which requires participation of individuals because it's invasive.
Yeah, well, as I've explained, you know, if I'd have known we were going to spend 40 minutes discussing a lifestyle
we
audit,
actually spent 10 minutes. It's just been 10 minutes, Mr. O'Sullivan.
Well, we've been doing this since half-past.
No,
but if I'd have known we
since
were going to spend all this time discussing
since
a
40,
lifestyle
I
audit,
did
I
say
would
we are
have
left with
sent- I
20
would have
minutes
sent
when
you
we
some
started.
dockets. I
Let
would
me
have
move
sent
to
you
a
some
different.
documents in
I
advance.
accept. I accept
And
the
those
explanation.
documents in advance would have enabled you
I accept
to
the
understand
explanation.
exactly what a lifestyle audit is. Now,
Yeah.
when you are in communication with somebody,
Uh-huh.
your failure to use the word light is that make me a bad person? You know, the
No, it
reality of
doesn't
the
make you a
situation,
bad person.
the
I think what it
reality of
does,
the
what
reality of
what
the
is what it
situation
does,
is,
Mr. O'Sullivan,
you know,
is
I have a
all
really big
along
problem
we
here
have
because
assumed.
what's happening, I'm trying
All
to
along
answer
we have
you,
assumed
and
you
then you keep
conducted
cutting
lifestyle
in and
audits.
interrupting
You
me.
are in
So
radio
you
today
need to
saying
explain
you
to me
didn't
whether you
conduct
want to-
lifestyle
whether you
audits,
want me to
which have a
answer you, or
framework
whether
in
you
law.
want me to just the two of us talking at the
Okay.
same time.
I
Because
do want to
if
move
we're
to a
going
different
spend
subject that
all of
is
this
going to
time
also
talking
help
together
us.
at the same time, what benefit is that to the
I
the
think we have
listeners?
exhausted the lifestyle audit. How about we move to a different subject of your testimony?
I think that would be a good idea.
Oh,
because
excellent.
It's clear
So
to me that you
I do
don't
want to ask
understand
about
how these things work.
I do want to ask about what seemed to occupy, all of us saw it, the members of parliament about your credibility, which boggles me, because if they thought you're not a credible witness, they shouldn't have invited you. But nonetheless, they did, and they put questions. I do have only one. In terms of South Africa's law, particularly as it relates to witnesses appearing in parliament, one can't obstruct witnesses. The law actually uses the word, the Powers and Privileges Act actually uses the word obstruct. You cannot obstruct a person that is providing evidence in front of the ad hoc committee, or you are unable, as it were, which would be read as an intimidation. It seems to me, when you admitted that you sent Nkabinde a text during his testimony, you were violating this specific law of trying to influence what he was saying at that moment to the committee. Would you agree that this is possibly not only illegal, but would have legitimately invited those members of parliament to doubt your credibility?
No, I won't agree, because I didn't know he was giving evidence at the time. Somebody sent me a screenshot of allegations that were being published online by him. It was 8 o'clock in the evening. I assumed that they had finished with all their, their doings. And I sent him a message informing him that he's a lying crook and he belongs in prison, and that it's an offense to testify under oath and lie. It's called perjury. So at the end of the day, that may not look good, but it's a reality. The problem is the ad hoc committee invite these criminals to come and give evidence, give them an easy ride. And then when a person who's identified these people as being criminals many, many years ago comes along, my credibility is attacked by certain members, select members of the committee. And those select members of the committee, I am saying, are in cahoots with the criminals in the criminal justice system who are involved in what I describe as state capture Mark III.
Okay.
So that is the problem that we have.
Okay.
You have a committee which is biased.
Okay. Final question is, part of what they put to you are the circumstances in which you took some admission to guilt over a sexual offense act. What were the circumstances of that accusation that was made to you? Because what is flying around is that you were accused by an underage woman to have made undue sexual advances to them, and to the effect that they were underage is that at the time they were 16 years old. Is this true that a woman who was 16 years old at the time accused you of sexual advances that were unwanted?
You know, this is absolute rubbish, and I'm absolutely shocked. I can't remember which member it was that made that allegation, but at the time, I made it clear that that was fabricated and absolute rubbish. And if that member wants to come forward, I'll have a debate with him, and he must give the name and date and time and place and everything where these allegations took place. And it's complete lie, and it's been done only to
discredit
maliciously and dishonestly defame me and destroy my credibility. I am not in the business of making sexual advances, not only to children, but not to anybody. I'm happily married, and I've got no wish, desire, or intention to be involved with anything of that nature.
What admission of a fine did you pay?
Let me finish, please. You know,
I have 5 minutes left. Remember me, I'm on radio.
What I don't like doing is for people to make allegations, false, dishonest, and defamatory allegations, and having made these false, dishonest, and defamatory allegations, to then prevent me. This is exactly what the committee were doing, and it's exactly what you're doing now. You cannot sit there.
But Mr. O'Sullivan, what fine? You said you paid an admission of 500, which was an admission of guilt.
No.
What were the circumstances of that admission?
I said nothing of the kind. You are completely mixing up what was said.
Okay.
And I think you're completely mixing up what was said.
Okay, please correct the record then.
You yourself are being malicious. You need to go back.
But what admission of guilt did you pay? What admission of guilt did you pay?
Play the tape again and listen to what was said instead of siding with criminals.
No, it's a question. I'm not siding with them.
What you've done this morning is you've destroyed your own credibility, and you've destroyed the credibility of Power FM.
Are you going to explain what admission of guilt did you? What were the circumstances of the admission of guilt that you paid?
A better place for all
what
South
admission of
Africans,
guilt circumstances
did
you ever? I'm not attacking you, Mr. O'Sullivan. When you feel the heat beneath your skin, you think you are being attacked. The question is simple. The question is simple. What were the circumstances of admission of guilt?
I think you need to go back and have some training.
But we are asking a simple question. What circumstances of admission of guilt? What were the circumstances of admission of guilt with regards to GBV case did you get involved in? That's the question. And that's why members of parliament were questioning your credibility, is that you said by your own admission there was a GBV case in which you did an admission of guilt, and then went on to compare it that you shouldn't have paid the 500 rands because it was like paying a traffic fine. This is a question. It's not an attack on you. And I'm saying to you, this is the reason a credibility of a witness could become a problem to members of parliament or to an investigatorial committee. If questions are defeating you, there's nothing I can do for you. You get me, Mr. O'Sullivan?
I don't think there's anything I can
There's
do
no
for
training that anybody needs
to go and get some training.
The last person in the room who's going to speak about training is you. You know that you have done even constitutional training when you did not have the proper qualifications. It's not the training that is in question. The question is, what were the circumstances? What were the circumstances in which you paid an admission of guilt fine on a GBV case? That's the question. You are unable to answer this. You claim that you are being accused or you are being attacked. It's not an attack. That's the question. You don't dilly-dally over it and bring people's training and the credibility of power. I think you don't like being questioned. That's the point.
And I would invite you never to bother contacting me again, because I don't
Okay,
like
that's fine. Bye-bye
people.
then. Thank you. It's 1100 hours, Bantwana Benkosi. We're going to take the news and we'll try and get the steam off with Dr. Dumi.